Hello and welcome to another P.A.B. The P.A.B is a place where you can ask questions and get answers. This is a support group for anything hobby related or channel related. If you want to ask anything to me at any time. So, before we get into that, let me tell you about what videos are coming next. There is one video coming that I can't talk about, but I know that it's coming very, very soon and it's very exciting. And I have the next video I can talk about is this little guy. This is a Emperor's Children Horus Heresy color scheme. And I promise I was never going to do another Space Marine video on this channel, but how can you say no to that face? And you know what face I'm talking about. It's the best Space Marine face ever sculpted. So yeah, that is very exciting and coming soon. I also have a couple more videos I'm working on at the same time, including Ariel, which is now base coated and is black. So you know that it's something different coming. I won't be using contrast paints. Well, maybe I will use contrast paints, but it's not going to be a heavy contrast video. I'm going to just paint him as any way as I please. So stay tuned for that because that's very exciting. I also have the Corsair video, and I have a couple more videos that I also can't talk about. You know, things that happen. I made one. Mark Baker is here. Yeah, this is the first time I see you in the chat. So welcome. So yeah, again, as I said, this is a Q&A session. So ask questions and you will get answers. The viewership is a bit slow today. Hey Juan, you have a question from Lee Hannan. Say, hey Juan, are you a brush licker too? I find it's a great way to get a good tip on the brush. If you are, what's your favorite flavor paint? My decision gray. Well, if you've seen my my thinning technique or how to thin paints correctly video, you will already know that the answer to that question. And if you don't, I suggest you go and check it out. As for flavor of paints, I never put paint into my mouth. I only put brushes that are straight from my water pot. So I can't tell you, but I know because I had a couple of incidents that I hate how the shades taste. That is not a good taste. Not at all. So, yeah. Beer Wizard, how are you, Juan? I'm so thankful for your entertaining videos. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate that. I do whatever I can. And I also think, and I think I'm not alone here, that if you entertain people, they will listen more to what you have to say. So, I always try to be as entertaining as I can, considering that I don't write the script. Everything you hear me talk during my painting videos is all what I'm painting. So I'm not scripting anything. So that's why I stopped making like a lot of jokes inside of the painting itself, just because I didn't find a way to make them sound natural in every video. Sometimes I will make something I thought is that I think it's funny and I just make a joke inside, but for the most part I stopped because I couldn't find a way to make them sound natural and not scripted. I hate scripted videos myself. There's a personal taste. So yeah, that's what I started doing the jokes at the beginning of the video, because and that basically dictated what videos will go next, because if I have a good idea for an intro, a funny idea for an intro, that's the next video, because I want to get that funny joke inside done as soon as possible, just because I think it's hilarious. So yeah, that's basically how I do stuff now. And I also have work in progress. I have the script here. I rarely do scripts, but this is the small channels that I like or that I can recommend video. And I just can't get a good feeling for this. That's what I was talking about, that I hate the scripts. I can't find a way to make this good. and these are good channels. I really want to make this video because I think they surely deserve more attention, but I just can't find a way to put this into a video that I'm happy with. So sorry if any of the people that I contacted here, because I contacted them all just previous to writing this, and they all said yes, of course we will be happy. I would never do this without consent from the original creators, but I just don't feel it. That's kind of my thing. Yeah, I was thinking of doing this like in a live video. I think that could be a good idea, just because it will be easier, simpler to edit. It will get to the point, and I think it will be better, but I'm not sure if it's going to be too much of a drag for people to watch. I also want to do something quick so people watch it, because I want this video to reach as many people as possible, because it's very important to get this message across. But you know, whatever. So if you have any suggestions of what kind of video should I make for the small content creators that showcase video, I think that would be awesome. I could also make this into a series, but I have to find a format that I like, and right now I haven't. But yeah, and also some of these people are growing quite fast. Let me just check. Sorry about that, because I want to make this of people that are small, basically. But you know, sometimes they just grow too quickly. Yeah, one of them is almost, I wanted to make this like under 10k, and one of them is already, it's growing quite quickly, and it's already at almost 7k. So yeah, if I want to make this, I really have to get on this quickly. Maybe if no more questions come into the chat, maybe I should read some of this to you. So you see some of these very lovely people and give them a follow. Why not add them onto the end of other videos? That's not a bad idea, actually. Like doing one at the end of each video, like this is the channel, the small channel that I recommend in this video. That is actually a very good idea. I might do that. Might be a good addition to normal videos. Like I kind of like that, Mark. That's very nice idea. Yeah, I kind of like that. That will probably give a better feeling of this, and I could recommend a video on each week, basically, and do that. Oh yeah, clever boy. So while more questions come into the chat, or this gets on rolling, we have a low start today, but we will get faster. Yeah, I think I will read some of these people to you, and I will link the channels, and you can check them out, because we have nothing better to do. I have already booked this hour with the wife, so why not do that? Oh, another question from Lee. Do you use any magnifying spec glasses? I know some painters do for details. Wonder if you can recommend any. Yes, I do. I use these ones. It doesn't really matter. I like this. I saw Trovarion a very long time ago, before he was like famous and everything. I saw Trovarion using this super lightweight, like ultra thin, no fuss glasses, and I really like them. I have 2 pairs just in case one of them breaks, and I can give you a link for this. So I will pop up a link. It will do the YouTuber thing and pop up a link to those glasses, an affiliate link to those glasses. So I win more money. There you go. Let me see if I can give you a link. Okay. Yeah, that's an Amazon link. I don't know if it will leave you to the Spanish version of Amazon, or it will um, divert on its own to your local country. But whatever, that's an Amazon affiliate link for the glasses. That's the last ones I bought, which were like a week ago. That's why I have the link so handy, because these ones are getting a bit. They have a lot. They are old, so they are getting a bit scratch and it's getting hard to see through them. So I just bought a new pair. Yeah, so I might just use the. I treat them very badly. I just throw them like like that onto whatever it is, and I just don't give a crap. They are not very expensive. What airbrush do you use? Well, I bought in Christmas is an Iwata Eclipse. That's as much as I can tell you, because I have no idea about airbrushes. It's an Iwata Eclipse, like the basic one with a large cap. And that's it. And I've been using it very poorly to do some zenithal base coating and stuff like that. I kind of like it, but I need to practice a lot more, and I can't airbrush at home. I don't have a compressor here. I also have a small kid, and I have a cat, and I don't want like paint particles floating around. So I only use it at my workshop, and I need to get a good setup so I can record stuff in the workshop, all the airbrush stuff, because I don't want to do it here. So I'm also working in a couple of airbrush videos, so everything will come with time. But yeah, why don't I leave you a link to the airbrush too? Why not? I really need to up my game, because I'm so bad with this. I'm so bad with this. Yeah, this seems to be. There you go. You work miracles with contrast paints. El Cid. Oh, we have a Spanish guy, I'm guessing. You work miracles with contrast paints. Have you gotten good result on vehicles? Thanks. No. Use an airbrush. You have the link to the airbrush down there. If you want to paint vehicles with this, you should get an airbrush. I bought one too because Alan Savas said the Weta Workshop uses them and they're very good, but I haven't used it yet. If it's the Eclipse, I bought it on the recommendation of an airbrush artist that is way better with an airbrush than I will ever be. He paints amazing stuff just using an airbrush, like stupidly good, like pictures, big pictures, murals and stuff like that. And he uses an Iwata Eclipse for everything. And he recommended that. I was talking to him just because I know him, so it's kind of convenient. And I got his contact through a friend, and he told me that he doesn't know any airbrush artist that uses Harder and Steamback. Not saying they're not good brushes, but that I'm just saying that like proper airbrush artists, dedicated artists, none of them uses Harden and Steamback. They all use Iwata or Badger if they are American mainly. And I just said, well, okay, see, if this guy, I will give you a link to what he does. It's fucking amazing. If that guy uses an Iwata for everything, I think I will do with that. Let me just give you a link to his webpage. The kind of stuff that he does with an airbrush is pretty much insane. So there you go. I'm still using the cheap one that came with my compressor. Yeah, those brushes are okay to do base coats and stuff like that. I used one of those a very long time ago to paint some airplanes. I was into model airplanes for a while, and I just bought one of those like combo packages with everything that I sold a very long time ago. And yeah, Andrew Calvert, brush care. You see some people say not to use contrast paints with saber brushes. Bullshit. Because it degrades them quickly. Bullshit. Have you experienced this? As I said, bullshit. I'm not. I don't want to talk crap onto any content creator or any other painter, but I've been using contrast paints probably more than they have extensively, and my brushes last as long as they did without using them. So whatever. Watch my thinning paint video because or my contrast paint video, technique video. The thing you have to do, and you have to be very careful with, is not to load a dry brush with contrast paint because it will flick. It will just go into the ferrule like immediately. It will wick there and it will just ruin your brush. What you have to do is always use a moist or a moist brush. It doesn't need to be wet, but it has to be moist. So you have a reservoir of water into the ferrule, and that way the paint can't physically get there, even by wicking itself there. It's just not possible, and the brush will last as long. They are just contrast paints are just inks with a different medium. If inks don't destroy your brush, contrast paints won't destroy your brush. It's just bullshit. If I had an idea for a video for a good painter like yourself, I think it would be helpful to see Mini painted in the negative, like Phil used to be. Yeah, that's an interesting video. I'm just not. That is an interesting video. That is an interesting video. I think. What's her name? The Warhammer TV girl. The only thing that came is her Instagram name, which is Orc something. Yeah, I think she did whatever her name is. Sorry, my mind just does that kind of thing from time to time. She painted one mini like that. I think it was a Shint's demon, and it was pretty awesome. Louis, yeah, that's it. Louis Suggen, yeah, fantastic painter, and yeah. Yeah, she did. Suggen. Yeah, she did an amazing paint job. I love how she paints. Like when she is painting just stuff for herself, I think she's pretty much amazing. She has a very incredible talent for color and light, and I really like it. It's a very nice style. And she's a fantastic painter. I think she was an incredible addition to the Warhammer TV group of people. Super colorful work. I love it. Yeah, she is amazing. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is a good idea. So yeah. Okay, this is ramping up. I'm very happy. So ask questions. I will drink some water if you don't mind. There are so many talented painters out there that most people just don't know, and yeah. Well, Louis is now pretty well known thanks to the Warhammer TV stuff, but there are other painters that really. I think the Warhammer TV people, I know that they want to promote their own style, but if they were clever, they should hire people that have different painting styles and different approaches to painting. Still good painters, but different approaches, so they can make very interesting videos. There are a lot of very talented people out there that would jump onto that opportunity, like for sure. Although I'm not sure I will answer that, Andrew, in a little bit. I'm not sure, due to the Duncan Rhodes incident, how the new contracts are, because yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I know a lot of people that should be that will be delighted to jump onto the opportunity to make videos for them. Andrew Calvert, how's the Golden Demon entry? Well, the Golden Demon entry is not coming along for the time being. As I said, in other painting videos, I think it was it was when I was building the Corsairs. That's a very intensive project, and I don't want to touch it until I feel like it. So, whatever. It will keep on going, but for the time being, it's on the shelf waiting for me to just feel like painting it, because it's a very difficult thing to paint and I need to be in that mood. Also, I'm practicing my edge highlights. This is one of the examples here. I want to get them as crisp and thin as possible before I tackle stuff like that. So it's always good to have a practice palette cleanser in the middle of your projects. The End is asking, is there any benefit to drying your brushes by hanging them instead of upside down in a cup? Yeah, you should never store your brushes. That's another thing. You should never store your brushes like this with the hair up, because any remaining water, even if it's not like paint, even if it's just your pot water, but after a painting session, your pot of water has a little bit of paint in it, and if you hang them in this direction, the paint will, that water, that dirty water, will go into the ferrule and dry there, and your brushes will slowly getting worse. So I always store them horizontally. That works for me. Ideally, the best way is upside down, but I don't have the hardware to do that. Robert Wardle, I ordered some rosemary and core brushes the other day. Great customer service from them. I can't wait to try them out. They are an amazing company. They are passionate for what they do. They are a small business, a small family business, and they are amazing. And they make very good brushes. By the way, if you haven't tried the new dry brush set, well, just say new, but they've been making them for Artist Opus for a while, and now they have finally released their unbranded version, or Rosemary and Co. branded instead of Artist Opus branded version. But they are the same brushes, and they are half the cost. So yeah, pretty amazing. I've been using them extensively on a project to paint the armor and stuff like that, just because it's too big, and they are super smooth. I was actually very impressed on how smooth I could get some base coats on them with that. Pretty amazing. I'm really excited to be able to show that to you, but I can't until the 22nd. I'm guessing I will be able to share that with you. GD says Duncan incident. Well, when Duncan Rhodes left the company, basically, Duncan Rhodes was essentially the face of Games Workshop, and it was a face everyone loved, and he just left to start his own tutorial web page with his own videos, and making with all the profits going to him. And I think he's doing very, very well, and I'm really happy for him. I love Duncan. He was the reason why I started painting again, because I was in a hiatus, and I one day just saw some of my old minis, and I said, well, I'm going to just look up on YouTube if there's something about this. And there were tutorials, which wasn't a thing back when I was painting a very long time ago, and I was fascinated. And Duncan videos were absolutely stunning. I just watched them like religiously, and at the end, the itch was so intense that I just had to start painting again. So I'm very, very thankful to Duncan for that. But I'm guessing after Duncan left, I'm sure the new contracts for the people that are in front of the camera are more aggressive, let's just say. Now, I haven't seen them, I have no idea, but I would guess that they want to really protect themselves with that, so they don't, so people just don't come into their sphere, make videos for them for a year and then just leave and start their own business like Duncan did. I'm pretty sure they have protected themselves against that. So I'm not sure how that would be, but I would have done that if I were in their place. But to be fair, people just say the rumors say that they mistreated Duncan pretty badly before he left. That's why he left. So I don't know what really happened, but I've heard rumors as everything, and I've talked to one person that knows Duncan and that has talked about to him extensively about this. I cannot really say more because I don't think it's fair. It was said to me in confidence, and I will keep that in confidence. But I know they have mistreated him. At least that's what one side of the incident says. So that's all I will say. Luis Gargallo says, Alcorn Spains are good, or should I skip some? Interesting in buy that Alcorn spec, but I don't know if it's a good idea. The thing is, Contra Spains, all of them are good, but some of them are not good on their own. So things like Leviathan Blue, you won't see me use Leviathan Blue on its own. I always mix it with something, but it's a very good paint to have, and it also has its uses, not as a contrast paint, but something like panel liner, doing freehand, stuff like that is very good because it's very intense. So I really like them all. The only one that I haven't used that much is Saiz Purple. I don't think Saiz Purple is a good color. But Leviathan Blue I've used, Dark Angels Green I've used, no issue with that. Psycho Brown I've used, just mixed with medium. Yeah, all of the dark colors, the rest are pretty good. The only one I like the least, I think, is Ultramarine Blue, and it has nothing to do with, I know, the blue thing, but I really think it's one of the weakest. So I would probably skip Ultramarine Blue. I don't think it's a good color. I think it's the only one that I haven't used at all in my videos. I always mix Talazar with Leviathan, or Talazar with other things. Probably. Marvick, your boy has been busy. Yeah, I'm ridiculously busy. You have no idea how busy I am. Team B, a non-compete clause. Yeah, probably that. I will. That is going back to the contracts of the new content creators for Games Workshop, for the Warhammer Plus, as well as the Warhammer TV crew, the new group, which it's been growing a lot. They have 3 new painters there, they are all pretty good. And I guess they do have some non-compete clause, maybe for a period of time where they can't make anything that competes with them after leaving the company, probably something like that. Who knows? The answer is most companies I've worked for don't appreciate their workers enough, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. I'm sure it's true. Everyone says that Games Workshop pays their employees pretty badly, like low pay grades. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case with Duncan as well, that he was paid pretty poorly, considering how important he was for the company, which he was pretty big for the company. He was the face, the human face for the whole company. And yeah, I'm pretty sure at some point he wanted more, understandably, and I'm sure they said, yeah, no, and he just said, okay, I'm just, I will open my own, theme park. Some are better for effects than painting, exactly. Some contrast paints are very good to do certain effects than for painting like a single layer with them, but they are all good. Or Gilliman Blue. Gilliman Blue is very good, but I have a very big dropper of Gilliman Blue. This is like 3 pots of Gilliman Blue, and I have a couple more pots in my workshop waiting for this to be done. I really love Gilliman Blue. It's fantastic paint. There are so many flesh shades and browns in the contrast range. Not complaining, but it's worth mentioning. Yeah, but they are all different. And the browns, the flesh tones are all really good. The browns are all really good. Psycho Brown, it's fantastic, but you have to thin it down. Yeah, they are all fantastic. But yeah, browns are the easiest colors to make because they are browns. So I'm guessing that's why they have so many of them, because there are a lot of brown pigments. that are very good. They are not very good pigments that are for the other colors. Ultramarine blue dries too dark for what it's supposed to be, I think. Probably, and I think it has too much dry component into the mix. If you see, it really has a big deposit at the bottom. Let me see if I can show it to you. Okay. Do you see that? That is not blue. That was a very light blue, but look at the side. Yeah, that is a lot of solid residue, solid pigment, like dry pigment. I think that affects the performance of this paint in particular. Crossing Obstacle Gaming. Hello. Paul Blonde. Good afternoon, Juan. I've heard some people talk about thinning paint with inks for vibrancy. Have you tried this? I would imagine it gets tricky to control the color tones. I have used it. It's very good. Everyone should have a good repertoire of inks because it does work. It's a way of thinning paint without losing its vibrancy or its intensity. Very useful for the reds, yellows, and stuff like that. But it works for every single color. Yeah, it's a good technique, and you just don't overdo it. So be careful with it, and know that it can turn your paint to be a bit shiny. So you have to accommodate for that too. Team Orange. Juan says he likes blue. The end is nigh. I do like Gilliman blue. I've used it a lot. I was really sad when Games Workshop discontinued the glazes range. I think it was a fantastic range of I think they were a very good product, and they shouldn't have discontinued it. And yeah, I know they introduced the contrast range, but they are not the same pigments. They are not the same hues, and they don't work in the same way. Even if you thin them down, they don't work in the same way. So I was really sad. That's why I bought like 4 or 5 pots of them when they were announced. There were rumors saying they were going to be discontinued. They didn't say it in advance. So once those rumors came in, I went to the shop and just bought like 4 or 5 pots of each, and I'm very happy with that. I think I have enough glazes to last for a lifetime, so I'm pretty happy. Any tips for chips on Black Space Marine armor? Yes, watch my did I do chips in the Black Legion model? Let me just check. One moment, please. I always wanted to say that. Let me just check. Where are you? Oh no, I haven't. Okay, so what you have to do is I haven't done one with like chipped paint. I have done with the scratches and so, but not chipped paint. So what you have to do is use brown. You want to use something like Rhinox hide to do the actual chip. And Darren Latham had a great video about chipping. I'm sure you can find his video somewhere. I'm not going to promote them just because he doesn't want those videos to be around. So I'm going to respect his will there. I'm not going to promote any of the copycats. But he had a very good video about it, and I copied that technique on the World Eater. So watch the World Eaters to see the technique. Take the Black Legion video where I do the scratches and use those colors, but you have to use a brown for the actual chip, like the what's underneath the paint. And I would recommend Rhinox hide, which works very very well for that. So yeah, all of those things. Jay Flanagan. Juan, I just want to thank you for giving me inspiration and confidence to get through my 20-year pile of shame. Thank you. That's awesome. I've broken that bad habit of buying more stuff that I can paint a very long time ago, and I'm glad for that. I only buy stuff to paint for the channel. I'm more than happy. I have enough miniatures in my pile of shame to last for a lifetime, and I just buy whatever I want to buy to paint for the channel, and I'm just happy with that. So yeah, good work on reducing that pile. Javier Castilla. Hi Juan, I'm struggling to find two colors, a nice orange and an intense purple. Any advice? In one of your last videos you mentioned a mix for purple. If you're talking about contrast paints, an intense purple, it's this video, and you will see it. It's a mix of Talazar blue and Volupus pink. Yeah, for this guy I used 2 parts of Talazar. No, I use 5 parts Volupus pink, 1 part Talazar blue. If you want it a bit colder, I use that on Drazar video. That is 4 parts Volupus pink, 1 part Talazar blue. They both work very very well. One is warmer than the other, obviously, and I did 2 layers on this guy, and super happy with it. And for the orange, what you have to do is start with yellow. So you want to paint your miniature yellow. You can use Iyanden yellow, a very thin coat, just so we have. I would probably start with Wraithbone, do a very thin layer of Iyanden yellow over it, a very smooth layer. It doesn't have to be contrasty. Just one yellow there, and then do a thin Gravehound orange mix with medium over it, and it will give you a very intense orange. But if you talk about normal paints, it's a very hard question to answer, actually, because they are very good, intense purples are not common. What I would recommend is get some violet ink from Vallejo Game Color and mix it with your normal light purples, and it will give you, a very intense purple. As for orange, all oranges are pretty bad, pretty bad. But if you can get your hands on the Chimera orange, it's pretty good. This guy right here, if you can get your hands on it, it's pretty good. And if you want it more intense, mix in fluorescent orange into it. So in the same way we were talking about mixing inks into paints to make them more intense, if you mix a fluorescent orange into your oranges, it will make them more intense. But you know that they are not opaque to begin with, and adding a fluorescent paint into them is not going to make them more opaque. So so think about that. With things like orange and yellow, it's all about your base coat. So base coat with a warm tone, something like Wraithbone works very well, or something like a yellow through an airbrush works very well, and then do the orange on top. Orange is a complicated color, as is yellow, but I've had good success. I have a video on painting orange, so I will I will just link it to you. I'll just link it to you. Okay, there you go. I found it. It's a very old video, but it's a good video. Okay, there you go. In this video, I do a couple of things that I wouldn't do now, which is one of them is using Dawn Yellow as a base coat. You don't need to do that. You can just use Wraithbone. Works as well. But yeah, apart from that, everything there I approve, and I think it's a good idea. But you have to combine the orange and the yellow contrast paints to make an intense orange. Otherwise, you will get something very dull. I hope I answered your question, Javier. Robert Wardle, I have found that my contrast paints dry with a shiny or glossy finish. After reading through it, seems the paints just need shaking more. Is there a best way to avoid paint drying like this? Sometimes paint will dry a bit shiny. Contrast paints, all of them have a bit of a satin finish, but yeah, you need to shake them well. You really need to shake them well, because it has like the matting agent sips onto the bottom. You have to make sure. I use a vortex mixer, which I cannot show you because it's hung into my desk, but it's my vortex mixer there. So use a vortex mixer, helps a lot. It does a very quick job with contrast paints, and it will help with that. But even if they dry a bit shiny, that's not a problem. Just varnish over them. Problem solved. Just I really understand why people say that, but at the same time, I really don't. Just varnish. That's what varnish is for. Sorry if I seem a bit harsh, but that's the truth. Just varnish over them. Do you have the end? Do you have a good video on how to reproduce those glazes since they were gone and started collecting? Yeah, I do have a good video on how to. I think they were not asking a question. Just if I had that's pointing out that I have a video. Yeah. I do have a good video and it works very well. The only one that doesn't work very well is the blue. It's very complicated. And I've been still searching for an answer to that. And I found one answer, but it wasn't a good answer. Is that I found a paint and, well, a ink that uses the exact same pigment as Gilliman Blue. The problem is that ink is the old Citadel Sky Blue ink, which is even more OOP than Gilliman Blue. So, but it's exactly the same pigment, exactly the same. But you need to find old Citadel Sky Blue ink. And I'm sure if you go through the artist inks, you will find some ink that has the same pigment, which I don't know which pigment is. But yeah, if I didn't have any Gilliman Blue and I needed it, I would probably go through the art store, through the Liquitex on the dollar round earrings, and I will sure find some that matches. But in the meantime, I don't really care that much. I have enough Gilliman Blue, but yeah, that's the only mix that doesn't really work. Because Townstar Blue is a different hue, completely different hue, which pisses me off quite a bit. Yeah, they went during the time before they warned you. Yeah, exactly. They should have put an advice like, we are going to discontinue this. Please buy them if you want. But yeah, they didn't. They are outrageously overpriced on eBay now. Yeah, people will just do that. Mr. Reto, cheap yellow paint. You madman. I really like painting yellow, and to do cheap yellow paint, you just do exactly the same. You just use a brown, a lighter brown, and you just paint the chips. Pasuria, lenses for the next heavy contrast video. Yes, this guy. This will be the 50k celebration video, because I've changed my mind so many times on what I want to do with that video. And I decided that painting another Space Marine, even I said that I wouldn't ever paint a Space Marine, would be a good idea. I kind of wanted to do a Horus Heresy color scheme. So and of all the legions that changed color, my favorite has always been Emperor's Children, which is probably my favorite Chaos legion as well. And on top of that, I've never done purple with contrast, a good purple with contrast paint. So yeah, a lot of birds with one stone. So that's coming next. I don't know when. The all of the purple is done. The black is midway. I will probably finish the gold probably tonight, maybe if I don't die from all of that trim, and it should be there for next week probably. I use the answers. I use AK Interactive Ultra Matte Varnish, and it's awesome through an airbrush for knocking that shine off your finished models and protects them too. Yeah, be careful over metallics with that, boy. Very careful because it's going to destroy them. But yeah, that's what I use. I have these two varnishes here. I have the Ultra Matte, which is an old bottle, and a satin from AK. And if I want something in between, I mix them both, and they work very well. But Ultra Matte is still my favorite varnish. But you need to be careful with metallic paints. And I also not sure I like it over blacks. Crossing Obstacle Gaming. After I broke my wrist last year, I bought a Vortex mixer. Works like a charm and saves me so much pain in the wrist. Exactly. Vortex mixers are amazing, and they are some very cheap ones. They work. They work well. They may not last as long as one of the expensive ones, but they work well. So yeah, that's it. And oh boy, I really wish I could talk more about what's coming. Yeah, but I don't want to piss anyone off. Also, I almost forgot. Morgan Ra is coming. I have him fully built. All the sub-assemblies are now stuck into the pins and whatever. I will prime him Monday, and I will start painting him once this marine is done. So Morgan will be the next one after this one, and I will be painting Iriel at the same time, probably trying to release both videos as soon as possible. Jay Flanagan says, I would love to see a video going through your go-to hobby equipment and materials beside paint. That would be a good video, actually. I was thinking also about doing a more technique videos because they work very well. They are fun and quick to make. So yeah, the hobby equipment one may be a good idea, probably. I think it would be a good idea. Vortex mixers are expensive though. You can put a G-clamp into Jigsaw if you have one. They're not that expensive. You can find Vortex mixers for something like 30 euros, and that's not much. That's less than a Jigsaw, that's for sure. They're very cheap ones. The only issue that they have is they are not probably going to last forever, but they work well. Well, that being said, I do know one person that has a Chinese very cheap Vortex mixer that's going on strong for a year. So that's a lot for 20 euros. I think it was 25 euros what he paid for it. Yeah, they can be. You have cheap options. I would just say that. May not be the best, but you don't need to like a lab grade Vortex mixer for this. It's just tubes of paint. But yeah, hobby equipment and materials is a good one. Will help with shilling a lot of Amazon things. But I don't really use that much stuff. It's not a lot, but if you want, I will make a video about it. I will make a video of the equipment that I use for making videos and so on and stuff like that. Maybe someone will buy a camera using my link and I will win a little bit of money. Jim Cash, good day, Juan. Loved your tutorials. Looking forward to the next Golden Demon update. That video is coming. I just need time to get into the mental state to tackle a golden demon piece. I know people like probably like Richard Gray and stuff like that. They're just like machines painting. I need to get into the mood. I really need to get into the mental state to paint that. It's very labor intensive. I'm having trouble finding a decent shaper tool. If you mean for sculpting the end, if you mean for sculpting, you need to buy artist grade shapers. Those are the ones that I use. What are my sculpting tools? Oh, they're not here. I don't have my sculpting tools here because I'm doing something at the workshop with them. I will give you a link to good shapers. Oh, what do I have? I think I have an affiliate link for those. Yeah, I do have an affiliate link for those. One moment, please. Okay, I'm now into my Bitly account and I can get you the color shapers. There you go. I can now shield it to you. This is the color shapers. There you go, color shapers. That link will send you to the best color shapers there are. You just need to buy artist grade. If you buy something like the crap that Green Stuff Wall makes, which most of what they sell is absolute just crap. Especially talking about tools. All the tools is just Chinese crap rebranded with their name on it, and the shapers are so bad. Just buy the reals. Just buy the real deal, like artist grade products. That's what you want. It's one of those things that you buy once and you only cry once. And they're not that expensive, if I remember correctly. By the way, disclosure: this is an affiliate link, so on and so forth. Yeah, they are about you want the smaller ones. You want size 2s and size, I think I have size 0s and 2s, probably something like that. Whatever, they are like 4 quid, 5 quid, 7 quid max. That's what you want. You will need an overclocked Vortex mixer for ultramarine blue. Probably, yeah. No, it just works very well because it's very liquid paint and it will just remove it. If you have trouble mixing your contrast paints, add a little bit, add a metal bearing like this one's. But by the way, best mixing balls like this, the ones from Army Painter, absolutely magnificent. I've tested them in salty water, spraying them with salty water for a very long time, and they just don't rust. So, yeah, they have been tested pretty thoroughly, and they don't rust. The end. Yes, I might make one like you saw in your video. Yeah. If you those are the shapers that I use. I just bought them from that very same link. Oh, Chelsea's here. Chelsea, afternoon. Got a vampire for the next RRR for you. That's awesome. I love making the review. By the way, people, if you're watching this and you want to get your miniatures reviewed by me, I'm going to shield my review service, which is the Royal Retinue Review, which means that Patreon and channel members from the Menatoms or above tier can submit 1 mini a month to get reviewed online live for everyone to see. And I think it's a fantastic service, and I'm very kind. Don't be afraid. I'm very kind. I just give you the best tips possible to make your paint job better, knowing your level and so on. I'm not going to say stuff that you can make. If I say something, it's because I believe that you can do it. So yeah, pretty exciting. We've been here for an hour or so. So really close to the end. The P.A.B. lasts for an hour. So if you have any more questions, now is the time to ask them. Leave them in the chat and I will be very glad to answer them. And if you don't, well, this will be the end for the P.A.B. for March. I'm very glad for all of you that have been here. I'm really glad for everyone that watches my videos. And it's a real pleasure to make stuff for you. And I will really appreciate it when you spend time with me. So, thank you all very much for watching. And if there are no more questions, I will catch you in the next one, guys. Bye.